And welcome back to the Forever World and to a minisode, because there are a few things that I want to talk about. So today we are doing some mining that I need to do for a future, I guess, episode. I wouldn't say project, but it's a future episode where things are going to be changing quite a bit. I'm going to talk about that today, as well as explain the previous episode. Because I kind of want to go through that as well. Firstly, though, I want to just kind of start by saying, if I sound weird or if I'm like a little bit sniffly or anything, hay fever is currently kicking my ass. This is something that we're just gonna kind of have to deal with pretty much all the time very soon. So yeah, apologies if things don't sound quite right. I wanted to start obviously with the previous episode 15. I wanted to do something kind of cool for it anyway, because if you don't know, I have this kind of rule with my series is that if they reach 15 episodes or more, then they're officially considered a proper series, as opposed to like a mini series. And so I decided to use that as an opportunity to make something a bit more lore focused, a little bit more kind of, I guess, storyline based. I will say episode 15 has no lore connotations or connections to the world right now. It was simply just something kind of fun and interesting to do as a one-off. Very much inspired by Pizza Hut's How to Minecraft Season 1 episode 100. But there could be a few connections in the future that I haven't quite decided. I do want to do the world with a proper lore and backstory. I'm not going to be going into roleplay all the time or anything like that, but I definitely want to take a little bit more of a storytelling and world building direction with the world in the future. And so there may be some references to episode 15 in the future within the story and within builds. However, at the time of recording this, I do not have anything like planned per se. With episode 15, I just wanted to make something pretty fun. So the idea behind episode 15 was that an ancient evil was triggered by me going through the Nether portal. So when we was in the Nether, we was like, farming a little bit and stuff. That kind of awoken this evil, which went to my world and basically just destroyed the shit out of everything. And that was something that was kind of fun to make, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, a copy of the world, just blew everything up. And then that kind of developed into, why don't we have this, like, these, like, tentacles coming out of the ground and, like, a giant hole of, like, red fog that maybe is like a gateway. I then opted to just throw in a random reference to my beta world, mainly just for shits and gigs, really. But I wanted to do it in an approach where it was like, I didn't know what it was, like it was just this alternate realm that we got sent to, which I just thought would be kind of funny. Really, like, there's no real connection to it at all. The worlds aren't intertwined or anything. I guess you could argue it means that, like, there are multiple realms within Legacy4ever, and maybe the beta world is one of them. I honestly do not quite know. I just thought it'd be kind of funny to throw the beta world in, and it could have been any of my previous worlds that I had access to, or it could have even been, I don't know, like an entirely new world that had been built up from scratch in creative. I just didn't have time to do that, so I didn't really think about that. This was recorded literally the day before I went to Cleethorpes, and I was hoping to get it edited and everything in time for Cleethorpes. I just woke up too late, so I couldn't edit it in time, and then that's where the idea of why don't I do this on April Fool's kind of came about. I did have a few other ideas for April Fool's videos, not necessarily relating to Legacy4ever. I did think to do like another April Fool's custom track, which I've done a few times in the past for Mario Kart Wii. I did like the Walking Dead one year, which was just Joe Biden photos, and then I did Wii Mario Circuit in Mario Kart Wii, but it was based on the SNES Mario circuits. That's what I did for 2 years. which I may do again next year. I do like those April Fool's tracks. I just didn't have time in the end to work on one. But I did have one kind of like as a plan in my mind that I shared with a few people, which we all kind of thought was pretty funny. In the end, I think Legacy4ever episode 15 ended up being kind of the best April Fool's, I guess, prank. The idea that everything in our world had just been completely destroyed. It would have been funnier, I think, if it'd been a normal episode and then out of nowhere everything's just been nuked. But I felt like that would almost be too real. The idea that it was this whole lore thing, I think, kind of made more sense. And maybe it did take away a little bit from the April Fool's side, because you can tell it's like completely different to every other episode. But, you know, is what it is. But yeah, there is no connotation whatsoever from episode 15 for the series. It's just a one-off. There is nothing destroyed. Our world is perfectly intact. I didn't have it in the back of my mind though, whilst I was recording, being like, please tell me I made a backup. Like, please tell me I made a backup. I remember the first time I played with any friends online, we had an SMP on PlayStation 4. And these were friends I made like on our minigame because it had just come out. And for the end of that world, we did just like, we like blew everything up, and the guy who had the world forgot to make a backup, and so that world is just like completely gone from that moment because everything got destroyed. Although I don't know if that was intentional or not. He definitely didn't seem too bothered when he realised that he hadn't backed it up, but who knows. So yeah, episode 15 is on its own. It has no connotations to the series whatsoever. And so with that, let's talk about the future of Legacy4ever, because things are going to be changing. I have been toying around with it for maybe 2 months, at least a month for sure, and I've come to the decision that the beta feeling, the like TU1 to TU3 consolidation equivalent, that concept has limited us too much, and it's time to spread our wings. And so part of that is also because I want to experiment. I want to play around with the newer updates. Like, I really want to try out Happy Ghasts. I guess Trial Chambers would be cool. I actually haven't played the most recent version of Minecraft since 1.20, which is kind of crazy to think, because that was a few years ago now. However, that is going to be changing very soon. So it won't be episode 16, it will be episode 17. And it's going to be called The Big Update. We will be updating all of the reconsole side to 1.21.11, I believe, unless within like 2 or 3 days from the time that I make this, unless in between that they do a 20 what is it called now, like 26.1 I think is the update name, because they've changed the updating system, which I will admit I'm not a fan of personally, but I digress. Unless Reconsole is updated for that, we'll be on 1.21.11 for a little bit. And so, yeah, episode 17 will be on the most recent version of Reconsole. I'll also be adding in a few extra mods because I would like to improve the overall quality of the videos. I'm hoping I can get time lapses to not be first person anymore. We haven't had any in the series so far, and that has been an intentional decision. So, replay mod doesn't work with Reconsole, or at least it's something within Reconsole it doesn't work with. I believe it is the legacy side that it's broken, that it keeps breaking with. The game basically just doesn't load. I may try it again just in case it's like a fixed thing since I created a Reconsole instance for 1.20, but I seriously doubt it. I haven't tried Flashback yet. That is, I believe it's called Flashback anyway. I could be wrong, but I believe that may work. I haven't tested it out yet though, so we shall see on that one. However, the overall plan is that we will just be updating everything. I want to hopefully include flashback or replay mode, so we can have those third-person time lapses. If that don't work, and we just basically can't get any scenic shots, I will just bring in first-person time lapses because I've been itching for a time lapse for like literally ever. But we shall see in that one. Obviously, we'll have enchanting, we'll have sprinting, we'll have a hunger system again. We'll have all of the like modern stuff, bar like old COD. We'll also have like old legacy combat and obviously legacy console works, but for the most part, it will be modern Minecraft again. I did look at our seed in Chunk Base to see if there's like ocean monuments nearby where we've already built stuff. For instance, or like pillager outposts, because that is something that I've had to deal with in the past, where like my oceans have obviously like, been updated and guardians have spawned where I was planning on building stuff, which did quite demotivate me a lot during that time period for that world. And so there is quite a lot, but it's not like where we've already built. It seems to be like a little bit further out. However, there is quite a lot of them. And so I think I am going to use a mod to disable ocean monuments, which I hope, fingers crossed, will work with pre-existing worlds. Otherwise, modern Abea is going to have to stay like forever. I would like to remove it from the world like right now, but we shall see what happens there. Ideally, modern Abea will be gone with the big update, and we'll start getting like new stuff when we go exploring. But you know, we shall see with that one for sure. But the main thing is everything's going to be updated. We'll have enchanting, we'll have sprinting, the whole thing, which will mean that I think for a little bit we probably won't be doing much in the terms of building side. We'll probably be just working on that progressional stuff. But we shall see. Maybe there'll be one episode or two. I don't know. I do think though episode 17 is going to be a special, which will mean we'll have a 45-minute video. I'll probably try to do some scenic stuff and make it feel a bit more grander. Because obviously we have quite a few episodes that are around that length anyway from before I reduced episode lengths. So we'll try and do something special for episode 17 when the big update, when that drops for Legacy4ever. I have a few texture pack stuff I'm working on as well. Like a more advanced version of modern default. Maybe we'll have like a custom sky and things like that, but nothing too drastic. That will probably not even drop in episode 17. That'll probably be episode 18 that'll bring that in. And maybe even a skin change. I haven't quite decided yet on that regard. But yeah, it is now official. Episode 17. The big update is going to completely change Legacy4ever as we know it. And I have to admit, like, the past few weeks when I've been playing the world on live stream, and like I've just recorded episode 16 actually, it has become more like, now that I know that I'm doing it as well, I have started to wish greatly for things like sprinting and just modern gameplay aspects. I will miss it because like I've played the beta side of things for like 2 years now, maybe even longer. I'm not quite sure how old or how long ago my beta world, how long it's been since I created that world, but it's been definitely at least 2 years, if not longer, and that's pretty much bar like a couple of week phase on like a round with some friends. That is pretty much how long it's been since I played modern Minecraft in terms of sprinting and enchanting and whatnot. So I am kind of missing it now. I am craving some modern Minecraft. So the Legacy4ever world that is being brung into this, which I personally am pretty excited for, not gonna lie. And so with the big news kind of out of the way, with the big update, I do want to quickly touch upon something else to wrap this up. I have been enjoying streaming quite a bit recently. I will admit I'm kind of going through a bit of a streaming phase. And so one thing I'm considering is doing episodes on live streams and then editing those live streams to become episodes. So we would probably still keep the full like streams on the channel. They won't be private or anything. But then you'd get like your normal episode on a Monday, which will be from the live streams as like a highlights package. It's something I'm considering. It won't be until after we move at the end of the month, and like I have a proper stream set up ongoing. So it's probably like even longer than that. It's probably like a month, maybe even 2 months in advance from the time of recording this. And even then, by the time this gets uploaded. So with that in mind, it's still like probably like episode, let's say like episode 22, 23 time kind of period where that may happen. But like I say, I haven't quite decided yet. I just wanted to briefly touch upon that. And so with that, we have come to the end of this minisode. I hope you enjoyed. I would love to do minisodes as more like a real talky thing, so maybe we'll see some more in the future. And with that, I am going to leave you with a clip from a live stream of me finding diamonds after literally complaining for like 20 minutes straight. And I shall see you all very soon. Once we've got everything we actually need, but... I think I've got one more call. Let's just finish off this, I guess. Okay. How many is it though? Give me 1 minute. Watch. No, 2. 4. No, 3. Sprinkling. Not gonna work on anymore. Already got used to sprinting, guys. Yeah, 3. Hey, I'll take 3.